Hey, vinyl community, it's Dwayne, Rock and Doc. Uh, I haven't done a video in a while. You might know one of the reasons why that I've been busy uh, rearranging and redecorating my record room. If you saw the video I posted a couple of days ago, little short video, I kind of showed you what I've done in here. But anyways, you might recall from my last couple of videos that I had a couple of shows that I did in April. One here in Lloyd, a big garage sale that I do every year. And then the Calgary Music Collector Show, which I haven't been to for quite some time. But my grandson and his girlfriend convinced me to go this year because they wanted to go. And I'm sure glad I did, because I did exceptionally well this time around at the Calgary Music Collector Show. And what do you do when you go to shows and sell some records so you have some extra cash around? You buy more records. So that's what I did with some of the money I made. And I went a little crazy in April and May. And I'm going to show you some of the online music finds I found, because once again, I haven't gone anywhere for a while. So I've done most of my shopping online. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff I've gotten in April and May. I combined them, and like I said, there's a lot of stuff, so I may split this in two, maybe even three parts, just so they're not exceptionally long. So let's get into it. I'm not going to try and explain too much about what I got. I'll just sort of briefly tell you what it is, so we can keep this at maybe a fairly reasonable length. Anyways, for the very first time, I tried a place in Medicine Hat, Alberta. It's down around the Calgary area, I believe. Quite a ways from me. But I'd seen other people on a couple of groups I'm in that have gotten stuff from them, so I decided to give them a try. So I think it was late April I got my first order from them. And they're called Pop Rocks because they're not only a record store, but they sell candy too. So they have a lot of weird, different kind of candy from the United States and England and Europe and stuff like that. Anyways, I did get an order from them. I picked up a couple of Dwarves album that I didn't have already. This is Sugar Fix. They're a punk band. I believe they're out of Chicago. Could be wrong. Got this one too. This one's called Thank Heaven for Little Girls. So a couple of more Dwarves albums to add to my collection. Then I got a couple of things that are sort of dwarf related. This is a fellow called Nick Olivieri, and he's worked with the Dwarfs before. He started out in a band called what are they called? Now I forget. Oh, the Moz Generators. Yeah, and he's been in a lot of other bands, and he's done guitar and vocals in other bands. And what he's done is put a collection of stuff that he's worked on, some released, some non-released. This is, and it's called No Hits at All. This is volume 4, and this is the first of these I've gotten. There's the track listing on the back, and I believe he's done like 9 of these. So a lot of this stuff is stuff where he's worked with these bands. Pretty good. I might get try out a couple of the other volumes of this. And then I got this. This is the He Who Cannot Be Named, who is Dwarves member. Although I think he's passed away now. I'm not sure. But this is kind of a split album. It's got him doing half the album, and then a band called The Good, the Bad, and the Fugly doing the other side. And I believe that band is from Norway. So there we have a split between he who cannot be named and The Good, the Bad, and the Fugly. Then I picked this one up, and I don't know why I've never had this before. You know, everybody's familiar with the song Fire. This is The Crazy World of Arthur Brown. And this is one of the reissues. And it was pretty cheap, so I decided to pick it up finally. I think it came out originally in '68 or something like that. But I didn't know it, but this has Vince Crane, who later went on to play with Atomic Rooster. He's in the band, and so you can guess a lot of this stuff is fairly organ and keyboards heavy, but it's kind of a weird album. Like, of course, Fire's on there. Like I said, but nonetheless, it's still a good album if you're into that kind of organ heavy. I guess you could call this kind of psychedelic. Also picked up one from the Hip Priests, punk band out of the UK. This is called Stand for Nothing. And there's a little blurb on the back there about how they almost called it quits and then decided to record another album, which was this thing. And I don't know if they're still going or not. I know they've done an album or two after this one, but I don't know if they're still going. Anyways, really good punk album. Picked this up because I'm a big fan of Earthless. This is a live album. If you're not familiar with these guys, I guess you could call them a jam band, a little bit of a stoner rock band, mostly instrumental. And this thing is, it's got 2 songs on it, I think. One song is one entire side of this, and then half the second side, and then the other song is on the second side. And the other song, it has vocals, which is something they don't do that often. But there's a little, should have had it out already. There's a little card inside about how, kind of explains how they, this came out earlier, I guess, as a 10-inch, but it wasn't complete. And this is like the complete show that they did in January of 2004. So glad to have that one. Then I picked this one up, this is a upgrade copy. I have a copy, but it's not in very good shape. This is 1910 Fruit Gum Company. I believe Simon says this might be their first album. I'm not sure. I should have looked that up before I did this video. Anyways, this is in much better shape than the one I have already. The vinyl's in way better shape, so now I have a keeper copy. And then he threw this in just as he was just using it as packing, I guess, to protect the rest of the records. Because I'm not really sure who these guys are. I know they're kind of an indie band, and that's not my thing, but I listened to this. It's kind of weird that the cover's upside down on one side. Anyways, I listened to it. They're called the Sneetches, and this is just, I think, a 3-song EP. When I listened to it, it's not bad. I might keep it. Otherwise, I'm just going to sell it. So that was it for my first order from Pop Rocks out of Medicine Hat, which is in Alberta, where I'm from. Then I got another order from a fellow that I order fairly regularly. Not all the time, but kind of regular. He had a sale on, and I'm a sucker when I see sales. and if you, I think it was if you spent $100, you got free shipping. So a sale and free shipping, I had to jump on that. Anyways, I got a 10-inch by the Bishops, who are one of my favorite pub rock bands from the UK. They used to be known as the Count Bishops, and then they shortened it to the Bishops. And this is a version of the song I Want Candy. And maybe the version that a lot of people know is the version done by Bow Wow Wow. But this is, like, I can't remember when the original of this came out, maybe in the 60s. But anyways, it's got I Want Candy and another track in the back. Great album, or great 10-inch single, I guess. And then I decided to grab this. The reason I got this is the UK version of Jimi Hendrix Smash Hits. And the reason I got it is there's a couple of tracks in there that are different than the North American version. Which ones are they? The Stars That Play with Laughing Sam's Dice. And I forget what the other one is. Anyways, there's another one on here that's different. You can look at, 51st Anniversary. I think that's the one. The two different tracks on here. And it's got that, like most British albums, that laminated kind of cover. And then after a while, that lamination seems to start coming off. Also got this one because I've never had this one. It's Leonard Skinner, First and Last, and apparently this is some tracks they recorded before they were signed to MCA, and a lot of it, I think most of it, never came out until after the band broke up and they released this. There's the track listing on it. Then I picked up this one just because I was interested in this one. This is Arlo Guthrie with Alice's Restaurant, if you're familiar with this. This came out in 68, I believe, and it's got one side of this, the Alice's Restaurant is the title track. If you've ever heard it, it's really funny about him getting busted for littering. So, and it goes on and on about how he had to go to court and everything. It's really funny. And it's weird. He appeared at Woodstock, I think about 2 years, not quite 2 years after this album came out. And he didn't perform that song at Woodstock, which was kind of weird. Anyways, there's the track listing. And my one and only Arlo Guthrie album that I own now. Alice's Restaurant. Then I also got this, which is an official Barracuda's live album. But it's made to look like a bootleg, like the old bootlegs that were in the white jackets with the Xerox cover. And this is live in 1983. And like I said, it is an official one. It's made to look like a bootleg, but it is official. And the sound quality is about like a bootleg. It's a little better than that. A little better than most bootleg sounding albums, but it's kind of rough. Another one I picked up is this one. I've been looking for this one for quite a while. Like a better copy. I already have a copy, but I've been looking for a upgrade, and I finally found one. This is the Italian pressing of Stone the Crows, and it's, I don't know why, it's called Continuous Performance. There's no C on it, so Continuous Performance. And like I said, I have this one, but this is in way better shape. than the one I have, and I've looked for it before, and every time I find this, it's like trashed. And this is their, I think, their fourth album, fourth and final. Um, I've talked before about Maggie Bell, who does vocals for Stone the Crows. What an awesome vocalist she is. But this also featured Lee Harvey, who's Alex Harvey's brother. And during the sessions they were doing for this record, they were doing a live gig or something like that, and he got electrocuted on stage. So, what's his name? Jimmy McCullough, who later went on to Wings, stepped in and did the guitar work for the final tracks that they did for this album. It's a great album. If you haven't heard Stone the Crows before, highly recommended. Maggie Bell is just an amazing vocalist. Here's another one. I don't know why I've never picked this one up before. I do have their Thin Lizzy, their other live recording, the Live and Dangerous, and this is they're from the '83 tour, their farewell tour, when they were gonna call it quits. So this is called Life Live. There's the track listing on the back. There's kind of a collage in the inner jacket, but there's a lot of stuff here that features former Thin Lizzy guitarists that did guest appearances. Gary Moore, Eric Bell, Brian Robinson, Snowy White, and John Sykes as guests. So that's Thin Lizzy, their second live album, Life Live. And again, do I really need another Rolling Stones greatest hits album? But this is the Rolling Stones, the very best of the Rolling Stones, it's called. There's a little blurb in there that I haven't read yet, with some pictures. There's the track listing, but this is all early stuff. A bunch of their singles from like 63 to 69. So, although I don't need another Rolling Stones greatest hits package, now I have another one. And this one, I believe, is was it Dutch or French? One or the other. I guess I should read on here. The guy that Luke, the guy that does these, he always puts a little blurb on them about them, and this is UK reissue pressed in Holland, and apparently didn't come out in North America. And one other one, this is kind of a weird, funny one. Harvey Mandel, the Snake, and you might remember him. He played with Canned Heat, and I think he also played for a while with John Mayall. And when I first got this record, I put it on and I listened to side one, because side one's all instrumental. I listened to it and I thought, Jesus, that's kind of boring. And then I flipped it over to the second side, and the first song has vocals on it, and it just sounded weird. And then I kind of thought, because the label, it tells you on the label, but it's so small, way down at the bottom, you can't read it. I was playing it on 33, and it's actually a 45 RPM record. So I turned it over and played it again on 45, and it sounded way better. So I guess I'm going to keep that one. At first I thought I was going to sell it because it just sounded boring. Anyways, that's it for Luke's Records. He's in Toronto. I also got some stuff from Sal. Hope I'm not butchering your name, Sal. Canzonieri. Canzonieri. Sal. I'll just call him Sal. Sorry, Sal, if I'm not pronouncing it right, because he sometimes sees this stuff. He's with Electric Frankenstein. He had put up some stuff, Electric Frankenstein stuff for sale. So I jumped on it. I got some stuff I don't have. One was this one, Sod the Odds. This is a 10-inch 4-track. So I got that one. This is a split Electric Frankenstein, and the flip has the hit Priest on it. I'm a really big fan of Electric Frankenstein. They're kind of a punk band, punk hard rock band. And like I've said before, I love the artwork and their stuff. It's always great. Here's another one I got. Dead and Back. Here's a shot of the band in the back with the track listing. Another one with some great cover art. Rock and Roll Monster, and I think I have this one already, but with a different cover. Like I said, I really like these guys. I got shitload of stuff by these guys because they've got a ton of albums. And the last one is I Was a Teenage Shutdown. There's the back cover with the track listing. So thanks to Sal for that. And he was nice enough to throw in this poster that he signed. You can see it there in the bottom. Nice poster, and with some other Electric Frankenstein stuff on the back. Oops. Some of this stuff I don't have. About half of it I do, and half of it I don't. So that was it for what I got from Sal. Bought it directly from him. So I got some other stuff from Discogs. I was I forget how I found this guy, but anyways, I found this guy in Discogs from Australia. So I got a few things from him. First off, some Australian singles. This is a Three Dog Night with Mama Told Me. The reason I picked that up is, and I've said it before in other videos, a friend of mine who sings for a band called the Kingpins, and well, they were from Vancouver, but now they're in Victoria, and I don't know if they're all together anymore, but he's still going. His name's Big Hank. He's still playing. He's got a couple of bands going, but they used to do a killer version of that song. So I decided to pick up the single because I love that song. And like I said, my buddy that sings in the Kingpins did a hell of a version of that song. I also got this. This is another band, a UK band, 60s, 70s band that I really like called Juicy Lucy. I decided to pick this up because it's a white label promo, Australian promo on the Vertical label. Then I got this, the Fifth Order. Don't know anything about it. They're just, he had a blurb about on most of these, so I decided to just take a chance. But they're a 60s garage band from Ohio called the Fifth Order. Then I also got another garage band from Australia. They're called the Loose Hounds. Picked this single up, and it's an EP from the mid 2000s, and it looks like, or no, it's just a single. Sorry, but it looks to me like the only thing they released was a couple of singles and a couple EPs in the 2000s. Then here's another one. Didn't know anything about him. Chic the Shake. I Want Her So Bad. There's the back cover. And this is their debut, and I believe their only release. Came out in 1999. And they are also an Australian retro 60s garage punk band with ex-members of the Psychotic Turnbuckles. Another great Australian band with, they were kind of a glam band. And lastly, this one is kind of weird too. It one side plays at 45 and the other side plays at 33. And then the last one was this one called the Wayas. I think that's how you pronounce it. They're another garage rock band from, not from Australia, but from North Carolina. They're a garage rock duo. And this is a quote of what they supposedly sound like. Evil garage gospel like Johnny and June with less church. So there you go. The Wayas. And also from the same fellow, I got this, which is a female-fronted garage rock, hard rock band from Australia. Band's name is Glycerines. This is their second album, Atomic Army, which came out in 2021. But I don't know if the original had any, there's no information at all, just a little thing down at the bottom that tells you the name of the people in the band. But I don't know if maybe original copies of this came with an inner sleeve that told you more about the band, but that sure doesn't tell you anything. Then I also got this one. This is a Japanese, Anglo-Japanese band that does retro 60s garage punk with touches of psych and surf. They're called the Routs, I would say the Routs. This album is Mesmerized. It's their 8th LP, and also this one also came out in 2021. So that's the stuff I got from the guy from Discogs. And then I also did an order with holy crap, we're getting along here. I still got a bunch of shit left too. I got an order from Screamin' Crow Records. I haven't ordered from them for a while. I got the Cheats split single with the Wayward Brigade. And this is just came out not too long ago, like a month or so ago. And it's they're two U.S. punk bands. Neat little vinyl. It's kind of a ice cream vinyl. It's got a little sheet in that shows you the band. And each band does these are new covers or new originals they did for this release. And they also did a cover. The Cheats do a cover of a Tough Dart song, and the Wayward Brigade does a cover of a Slaughter and the Dogs song. And they also sent me a sticker. And it's all autographed by both bands. I don't know if you can see it or not, but they're there. Also picked up the brand new one, it just came out too, from the Steppen Razor Blades. It's called Stay Sharp. This is their debut, and they're a New England-based ska punk band. This features guitars, vocals, and fellow YouTube vinyl community guy, Don Bopper O'Day. Was him and some of the other members of this band are also in a band called the River City Rebels. There's Dan right there, and he's got a channel. I think it's called Rockin' Rebel. I'm not sure. But anyways, this is their brand new one, their debut, Stay Sharp. And again, I got lucky. This one's all signed too. When it comes in this spiffy orange black marble vinyl, and it's a custom label. This is the Screamin' Crow label right there. But if you look, I don't know how well you can see it, but for this one, the crow has got a straight edge razor in his claws. So another brand new one. No, this one, no, not brand new, but it's fairly new. It came out last year. This is the Killer Hearts with Unchained and Bloodstained. And it's their second album. They're a Texas band that were it's a high energy blend of hard rock, glam, and punk. And this one is also signed, and it's only signed by 2 members because they're the only 2 that are. I don't know why they're the only 2 that are pictured on the cover. The vocalist and the guitarist. There's the track listing, but there is an insert shows the rest of the band with lyrics, and again, this is on a really neat looking vinyl. It's kind of a purple, I don't know what you call that. Purple and white something or other. But it's really nice looking. I love the color on that. And that one too came with a sticker. Then the another one from Screamin' Crow on their label is a band called Supersonic Deuces with their debut album, which came out last year. It's called Deuce on the Loose. There they are in the back. And also I got lucky with this one too. It's signed. Here's the track listing. And this is high energy rock, raw rock, aggressive. It has kind of a punk sound with catchy hooks and really great guitar work. And it's sort of a 70s hard rock and garage rock mixture. And again, this one's on a really neat, another neat gold and black kind of. They call this molten gold vinyl. And again, it has an insert. There's the band there. Then at the back, there's a collage of pictures, and they also sent this neat little sticker. So I got a couple of more from Screamin' Crow, although these aren't on their label. It's stuff they distro, and I got them from them rather than the label they're on because it was just cheaper for me to buy them all at once from the same place. But these next two are from a label called Deadbeat Records. Got this one. It's called The Rumors, Kill or Be Killed. This is their third album from 2024, and it centers around these two gals in the front. They do have a drummer, and I think their drummer's been with them since the beginning. But all their pictures seem to be, when you see pictures of them, it's just the two gals. Although you can see if you go on YouTube and look at some of their live videos, you can actually see the drummer there. But I think I've seen a couple of videos too, like official videos, and it's just the two of them. But anyways, they're a melodic riff rock band with a kind of a punky edge. So that's The Rumors, Kill or Be Killed. Then another Deadbeat record. This time the band's called Frankie and the Studs. The album's Life's a Glitch. And this was put out last year. It's their debut. They're an LA glam band fronted by Gilby Clarke's daughter, Frankie. And they're kind of again, kind of a punky, hard rock. And they do a really good cover of Venus. You can see it down there, which was, if you remember the 60s and 70s band from Holland that had a big hit with that. They were sort of a one-hit wonder in North America, just that one hit, Venus. But they were really popular and had a lot more hits in Europe. But anyways, Frankie and the Studs do a cover version of that, a really good one. So this is a really good album. Really like this one. And the last one I got from Screamin' Crow, another one that's not on their label, but they have it in their catalog. This is Brad Marino with Grin and Bear It. It's album a couple of years ago from 2023, and he blends 60s pop with classic garage rock and Ramon style punk rock, and he's fairly well known in the power pop circles. Everybody that's into like later day power pop probably knows him, and he gets help on this album from a couple of friends also big in the power pop world, and that's Jeff Palmer and Kurt Baker. And this is there's the track listing on the back. This is a white, I'm not going to pull it out and show you, but it's a white numbered album, and it's weird. They put the numbers on the label. So I have number 248 out of 300. They usually put that on the back of the jacket. So lastly, because we're running really long here, some stuff I got out of Seattle from a label that specializes in a lot of Pacific Northwest groups, which the first thing I'm showing you is not, but it's on their label anyways. This is a 10-inch from Silverhead. It's live in London in '73. And they were an English glam rock band that was active in the early 70s. They only put out 2 albums before they split up in 1973, and they were working on apparently working on a third album in '74, but they split up before they finished it. And it just got scrapped. Anyways, this is a 2025 10-inch release. There was a 12-inch release of this in 2023, the exact same album, but the 12-inch, the original 12-inch, had a interview with Michael. I'm not sure how you say it. Is it DeBars or DeBarris? Anyways, the original one had a interview done by his sister Pamela, who was a notorious groupie from back in the 70s. That isn't on there, just the songs are on here. There's the song listing. And another thing about this is Nigel Harrison played bass on this, and then he went on to join Blondie. Another thing I got was this double album called The Heats, live at the Showbox in 1979. And this is a double album from 2024, and it's numbered on purple vinyl. There's the numbers. I don't know if you see them in the corner there. It's, I have 154 out of 500. Oh, I thought it was no, it's just a double album with larger pocket. I thought it was I was going to show you the inner jacket, but it's not a gatefold. Anyways, they were a Seattle power pop band, and when this was recorded, you can see the ticket for the show. They were still known as the Heaters, but they later changed their name shortly after this show to the Heats. And this show was at the Showbox in Seattle in Thanksgiving in '73. And there's an insert in here with a look at, that's probably some of their singles. There's the Showbox and a blurb about the band. And I went to, when I lived in Vancouver, I went to one show at the Showbox. It was Thin Lizzy, the Thin Lizzy that continued after Phil Lynott died, before they changed their name to the Black Star Riders or whatever they changed it to. And we were just getting ready to go in, and I was looking for my ticket, and where the fuck's my ticket? I'm looking all over. Then I remembered, oh, I put it on my dresser the night before we left, so I wouldn't forget it. So I did forget it, and luckily the show wasn't sold out, so I was able to get another ticket for another $50. That's how much the tickets were. So I spent double the amount to see that show, and it was a great show though, but because I forgot my ticket, I had to buy another one. Anyways, the last thing I got, and this is the last one I got from, they're actually called NW Metalworx, but they have a lot of metal stuff, but this is a subsidiary, you know what I mean, of that, and they're called, NW Power Pop and Punk. So this is kind of a sampler of stuff, a compilation. There's the bands and the songs they do. The Heaters are on here. And most of this stuff is a lot of bands from the late 70s and 80s. And like I said, the Heats have a track on here that was actually recorded in Victoria. Just like a month before they split up. But like I said, I'm not familiar with. At first, I thought this was I thought it was weird that the Stripes were on this, because there's an English band called the Stripes, but this is not. Even though they spell it the same, this is not the same band. So I don't. Other than the Heats, I wasn't really familiar with any of the bands on here. And there's a band called the Cowboys. They're the first track on side one, and that's the band that actually opened for the Heats on that double live album from the Showbox. Anyways, this is really long. This is the longest video I've ever done. And like I said, I have a whole stack, just as many to do, so I'm going to do another one. Maybe I should have split this into 3 parts, but fuck it, I already did it, so it's going to be long. Thanks to anybody that stayed till the end. I know some people don't like it if you do videos that are more than 10 or 15 minutes long. Right, Richie? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed it, even though it's really long. Again, I've got a part 2 of stuff that I bought online in April and May, so that's coming shortly, I hope. Anyways, till next time, as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and hopefully you'll see part 2 of this thing really soon.